scale of the day and guitar of the day. This is this little beauty. It's kind of a special little Telecaster. So this is a Fender Telecaster, but it's a special one. I forget what they call it. They call it a quilt top. I think it's like a FMT or a QMT or something. I'd have to check it out and see. I'll try to post it in the comments on the video. This guy has some unique features. Namely, alright, let's just go through this because this is a fun guitar. I bought this used and then I gutted all the electronics and put different tuners on it. But I dig this guitar in every way except maybe one. But I actually really like this one a lot. And these didn't used to be very expensive. They were only about $400 new. So it was a pretty decent guitar for the money. And then with a couple little upgrades, a lot better. Okay, so what's cool about this Telecaster versus every other Telecaster? This Telecaster has a set neck like a Gibson. Okay, it's not a bolt-on neck. It's set. It's one piece with the body. Okay. It is one with the body. Alright. This has a black back. It has body binding around it. It has a nice flame top. And I happen to love blue guitars even though some people don't. See if I can get this to catch the light a little better. That's pretty good. You can see pretty well what it looks like there. That's a little better. I'm trying to get it to catch the light without catching the glare. That's pretty good. You can kind of see it. It's really pretty in sunlight, in daylight. Play a daytime gig or something. Okay, so obviously it's also got humbucking pickups, and these happen to be Seymour Duncan Pearly Gates that I put in here. It's also got push-pull pots, which means you pop up on them. I don't know if you can see that. One downside of this dark guitar is it's kind of hard to see what's going on here, huh? Those pop up and down on both switches. From the factory, it just had a coil tapping switch that would let you split these from humbuckers to single coils by pulling the knob. I also added a second push-pull that did phase reversal. Okay, to pull the two out of phase so you can get a couple more sounds out of it. So this guitar is pretty versatile in the sounds. You can get humbucking or single coils, and you can get phase reversal as well. And then I love these tuners. This is the only guitar I've put them on, but this was the perfect guitar to put. These tuners are Planet Waves or Diodario locking self-trimming tuners, and they're great. Very stable, nice tuners, and they're awesome when you change strings because you just shove it through and tighten the thing down. It even cuts the string off for you. So super fast string changes. And nice stable tuners, and they were black hardware to kind of match what's going on the rest of the guitar here. Abalone inlays on the neck. And one of the best things about this Telecaster is, unlike most Telecasters, this has a body contour cut out like a Stratocaster, which makes it super comfortable to play sitting up against your rib cage. Here, just that body contour is a good thing. One thing about it that I'm not crazy about, this neck is narrower at the nut than most Fenders or Gibsons. It's just a little bit narrower. Now that does mean all the strings are a little bit closer together. So it's almost more like Rickenbackers have pretty skinny necks on some of them. Almost too skinny, especially for a 12 string. You start trying to cram the 12 string in there, they're hard to play. For a 6 string, this is pretty good though, so this is a really fast little tight neck. Okay, scale of the day. Now let's get into it here. So I'm going to do this a little bit differently than what I've been doing. Each day on the Pentatonics, I've been starting with the major scale, showing you the major scale, showing you the notes and the scale degrees, and saying, hey, we knock out the 4th scale degree and the 7th scale degree, and in the key of C, that's F is the 4th and B is the 7th. So we take those out, and now here's the pentatonic pattern. You know, we can kind of do that, and I probably will drop that in, but what I want to do to start today is go right to playing and work up through the patterns we've done, and then show you the new one. Okay, so yesterday we're going to start down here at the neck, at the nut, and work our way up the neck through these patterns. Okay, so yesterday's pattern was pattern 3. It had roots, the major roots on the 5th string, 3rd fret, and the first fret of the 2nd string. 2nd string, 1st fret, 5th string, 3rd fret. So we're our C's, okay? But our pattern went 1 and 2 and ready, play along. Okay, so the day before that we said, well, these notes overlap. These notes we played up here overlap with the next pattern. So the day before we did pattern 4, and it went like this: 1 and 2 and ready, go. Right? And we said, hey, these notes right here overlap with the pattern we did the day before that, which was pattern 5, and the one that most people are most familiar with. And that goes like this: 1 and 2 and ready, go. Okay, so now let me show you today's new pattern. So if this was 5, oh, well, pattern 1 must be up above that, right? So now we had roots. So where do you suppose the next roots are while they're, right? Our next pattern of roots. This is going to be pattern 1. It's going to share the things, this part of the pattern, okay, it's going to be shared between these two patterns. So now you're going to start here on your middle finger at the 8th fret on that C and do 2 frets up. Now you're back at the 7th fret with your index, pinky, index, pinky. Now this is where it gets wanky, but this next part is actually the most useful part of the pattern. So index, ring finger, 2nd finger, 4th finger, 2nd finger, 4th finger. Okay, that is our pattern 1. Okay, and that is a really useful pattern that gets used a whole lot, especially that top box that's going, because people will slide through these patterns. Okay, so they'll go. Okay, so you can kind of see that. Now, let's just practice this pattern and subdivide the beat. Let's get this under your fingers real good, nice and slow. Okay? Just going to start at the bottom and go up the pattern and down the pattern. We'll do quarter notes to start. 1, 2, ready, go. All right, now I'm going to notch that up just a little, and we're going to subdivide the beat to 8th notes. Okay, we're going to play it again. 1 and 2 and ready, go. And going to subdivide the beat to triplets. Triplet, 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 ready, go. Again. Okay, now what are we going to do? We're going to subdivide the beat to 16th notes. So it's 1 E and a 2 E and a ready and a go. How'd you do? Did you get it? Very good. Now, I'm going to speed it up a little more. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to go up and down the pattern down here. We're going to go up and down the pattern here. We're going to go up and down the pattern here. We're going to go up and down the pattern here. We'll play all 4 of them right in a row. Okay? 1 and 2 and ready, go. And how'd you do? Did you get them all right? Okay, let's do it again and see if you can get it all, play it perfectly. 1 and 2 and ready, go. And did you get it? Alright, now let's just work on this pattern up here again a little bit. We're going a little faster. So we'll go, in fact, I'm going to go quite a bit faster here. Let's work on this pattern up here. How are we oriented? Where's our C? That's our root note to start. Okay? 1, so you're going to start on your middle finger on the 8th fret C. 1 and 2 and ready, go. Slow it down a little bit. Let's do 88. And we're going to start down here and go all the way up through all 4 patterns. Up and down each pattern, okay? 1 and 2 and ready, go. And okay, let's just practice this pattern some more. Let's do 80 beats. See if you can do triplet notes. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a triplet. How'd you do? You should be getting the hang of this a little bit, but you know, if you're a beginner and you just can't quite keep up with moving across the neck that fast with the video, just take one of these patterns. Let's take one where it's slow, go back to the beginning where you're just doing the first pattern and work through that. Or put up the charts for these patterns where you can see them on your computer screen in front of you, or lay some papers out on a music stand in front of you where you can see these forms really clearly in order, and then, you know, work them slow until you really have. And hey, if you're getting overwhelmed with doing these each day, if it's too much and you can't absorb it this fast, that's okay. We're all mere mortals. So, you know, take it one at a time, because what you ultimately want to do is be able to do something musical with these, okay? So you really do want to get to where you can see the whole neck. But it doesn't do you any good to see the whole neck if you can't do anything musical with it after, and you can just play the patterns, okay? But playing these patterns is how you start to see the whole neck. It's how you start to hear intervals and connect them to your fingers. There's much more going on in your brain than you realize to connect this stuff with what you hear, what you see, the tactile feel of how you're fingering these, and the muscle memory involved in these patterns. This stuff's all getting programmed in your brain when you're practicing scales, and it's all important to your development. So this is high payoff stuff, and it'll benefit you quite a bit. You're also working on your right hand, whether you realize it or not, but you do have to concentrate and pay attention to things a bit when you're playing, okay? So if you're getting a lot of string noise, slow down, play it slow, and play it real clean, okay? But that is today's scale pattern. Now what's going to happen, there's one more pattern to learn after this one, and it'll be up here, and then these start to repeat, right? Because remember yesterday we said this pattern appears here and also appears here. Which means that the next pattern, which was 4, appears here. And the next pattern, which was 5, appears here. And our newest pattern, which we called 1, appears here. It's particularly hard to reach on this guitar. My hand hits the horn on this. The cutout on this is one thing the Telecaster shape, for me, my hand hits that horn and makes it really hard to play these notes up here. But so what you can see is that with the 4 patterns we've learned so far, you can connect the entire neck together, playing the C major and A minor scale, pentatonic scales, and for that matter, the major scales if you use the major scale patterns. Okay, the whole neck, except for we have one more pattern to learn in there, and we'll do that tomorrow. Okay? So that is today's scale of the day.